Admiral Zextal of the Galactic Confederation's First Contact Division stared at the holographic display with growing confusion. After 3 months of covert observation of Earth, nothing made sense anymore. The massive data stream flowing through their quantum processors painted a picture that defied all established sinological principles. "Run the analysis again," he ordered, his crystalline appendages clicking in irritation. "There must be some error in our interpretation protocols." Senior Analyst Nera adjusted her sensory membranes, her usual confidence notably absent. "Sir, we've run it 17 times. The results remain consistent. These humans, they're unprecedented." The holographic display showed billions of simultaneous conversations happening across what the humans called social media platforms. Conversations that, by all logic, should have been impossible for a species that hadn't even established colonies beyond their moon. "Look at this," Naira continued, expanding one particular data stream. "They have multiple global information networks, yet they use them primarily to share pictures of small furry creatures they call cats and argue about the correct way to prepare sustenance. And these memes?" Zextal questioned, the foreign word feeling strange in his speech centers. "We believe there's some form of cultural warfare, sir. They spread ideas and concepts at speeds that our finest viral propagation algorithms can't match." But Naira hesitated, her color shifting to the purple hue of professional embarrassment. "We can't determine if they're weapons or entertainment." The Admiral's attention shifted to another data stream, this one showing what humans called gaming servers. The simulations running on these platforms were crude by Confederation standards, yet the complexity of player interactions and strategic thinking displayed was remarkable. "These combat simulations," he mused, "they spend hours engaged in them, practicing warfare scenarios including alien invasions." His final words carried a note of disbelief. "Yes, sir. We've identified over 10,000 unique scenarios where humans defeat technologically superior alien forces. They appear to consider it recreational." Zextal's crystalline form sparkled with agitation. The standard first contact protocols were clearly insufficient here. These humans defied classification. Their technology was primitive by Confederation standards, yet they used it in ways that the Confederation's finest minds hadn't conceived. "Show me their primary defense systems," he commanded. The hologram shifted to display Earth's military capabilities: conventional weapons, nuclear arsenals, primitive space stations, nothing that should concern a civilization capable of faster-than-light travel. Yet something about the data made Zextal's command crystals pulse with unease. "Sir," Naira interjected, "there's something else. Their information security systems. What about them? Surely they can't compare to our quantum-encrypted networks." "That's just it, sir. They're absurdly simple by our standards. Yet," she manipulated the hologram to show countless layers of human cybersecurity measures. "They're chaotic, unpredictable. They don't follow any rational progression of technological development. They still use passwords, but they've somehow turned their system's very primitiveness into a defense mechanism." The Admiral's attention fixed on a curious anomaly in the data. "What's this about their young ones?" "They're teenagers. Perhaps the most disturbing element, sir. A significant portion of their population, particularly their adolescents, possess an intuitive understanding of their information systems that exceeds our eyes' predictive models. They treat complex technological interactions as entertainment." Zextal absorbed this information in silence. The standard first contact protocols dictated making contact with a species once they achieved certain technological benchmarks. The humans hadn't reached most of these benchmarks, yet they were doing things with their primitive technology that violated what the Confederation thought possible. "Recommendations?" he finally asked. Naira's color shifted through several uncertain hues before settling on a decisive blue. "Sir, I recommend we revise our entire approach. The usual technological superiority demonstration would be inadvisable. These humans, They don't think like any species we've encountered. They've spent generations imagining how to defeat exactly the kind of first contact we're planning. Explain. They have this thing called science fiction. Sir, they've been imagining contact with advanced alien civilizations for centuries. They've thought of virtually every scenario, including ones we considered impossible. And they share these ideas constantly through their global networks, refining them, discussing them, preparing for them, even if they don't realize it. The Admiral's crystalline form dimmed slightly as he processed this. The implications were staggering. A species that had turned speculation about advanced civilizations into a form of entertainment, inadvertently preparing themselves for actual contact in the process. Very well, he decided. Prepare a full report for the Confederation Council. Mark it as highest priority. We need to completely reconceptualize our first contact protocols. These humans, they're not primitive. They're something else entirely. As Naira began compiling the report, a new data stream caught her attention. Sir, they're doing it again. Doing what? Another trending discussion about alien contact scenarios. This one suggests defeating advanced alien AI by showing it pictures of cats wearing hats. Zextal's command crystals pulsed with what might have been the Confederation equivalent of a headache. Include that in the report. The Council needs to understand, we're not dealing with a primitive species. We're dealing with something far more dangerous, a species that has turned preparing for our arrival into a form of entertainment. The Confederation Council chamber buzzed with agitated energy as Admiral Zextal's report was displayed across the quantum projection field. The crystalline beings that made up the Council's upper echelon sparkled with various hues of concern and disbelief. This cannot be correct, Council Elder Vixna declared, her ancient form casting prismatic shadows across the chamber. You mean to tell us that these humans have created a global defense system, by accident? Zextal's form pulsed with affirmation. Not exactly a defense system, Elder. More like a collective technological immune system. They've created billions of interconnected systems with no central control, no unified protocol, and no standardization. It's brilliant in its chaos. The Council chamber erupted in a cascade of conflicting light patterns, the Confederation equivalent of heated debate. Senior analyst Naira, standing beside Zextal, projected her findings onto the quantum field. Observe this phenomenon they call tech support, she explained. Millions of humans spend their time solving technological problems for others, freely sharing solutions across their networks. They've created a self-repairing, self-improving system without even realizing it. A junior council member's crystals flashed with confusion. But their individual systems are primitive. Our quantum processors could easily. With respect, Naira interrupted, her color shifting to emphasize urgency. That's precisely what makes them dangerous. Watch this simulation. The quantum field displayed a mock invasion scenario. Advanced Confederation systems attempted to penetrate Earth's networks, only to become hopelessly entangled in what Naira had termed the human digital ecosystem. Their systems aren't just technological, she continued. They're cultural. They have these things called IT departments that have spent decades dealing with what they call user errors. They've developed defenses against problems we never imagined could exist. The simulation showed Confederation AI systems becoming overwhelmed by something called spam filters and browser cookies. Advanced quantum encryptions were rendered useless by humans simply unplugging their devices, a solution so primitive it bypassed all predicted response protocols. And then there's this, Zextal added, displaying another data stream. They call it turning it off and on again. Our systems can't comprehend a species that solves complex technological problems by simply resetting everything. Elder Vixna's crystalline form dimmed with concern. What of direct communication? Surely we can establish traditional diplomatic channels. Naira's color shifted to what her colleagues had started calling her human expertise hue. That's another problem, Elder. Their communication methods are problematic. They use something called social media, where important diplomatic announcements could be drowned out by what they call cat videos and viral trends. Surely they have official channels? Another council member asked. They do, Zextal confirmed, but they're almost worse. Their diplomatic corps communicates through something called email, which they simultaneously treat as crucial and completely unreliable. They have backup systems for their backup systems, most of which involve sending the same message through multiple platforms just in case. The quantum field displayed examples of human communication networks. The council watched in collective bewilderment as important messages were lost in spam folders, while pictures of small animals wearing costumes reached billions instantly. And their young ones. Naira continued, they've developed something called digital native intuition. They can adapt to new technologies faster than our predictive algorithms can analyze them. They don't follow any logical progression of technological development. They just try things to see what happens. The council chamber fell into uneasy silence as the implications sank in. Their entire approach to first contact was based on technological superiority. But how do you demonstrate superiority to a species that had turned technological chaos into an art form? There's one more thing, Zextal added, his tone carrying what might have been admiration. They have these individuals they call hackers. Some of them actively try to break into their own systems, finding vulnerabilities before they can be exploited. They call it white hat hacking. They attack their own systems. The concept seemed to physically pain some council members. Yes, and they celebrate those who do it best. They have competitions called hackathons, where they intentionally try to break things just to see if they can fix them. Elder Vixna's ancient form pulsed with decision. This changes everything. Our standard protocols assume logical technological progression. These humans, they've created something unprecedented. Their very inefficiency has become their strength. Zextal projected one final piece of data. They even have a saying, Elder. If it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. I believe we need to seriously reconsider any plans for technological engagement with Earth. The council chamber erupted in a dazzling display of conflicting light patterns as the members debated this unprecedented situation. How do you approach a species that had turned technological chaos into a survival strategy? More importantly, how do you deal with a civilization that had already imagined and prepared for every possible way you might try to approach them? As if to emphasize the point, Naira's monitoring systems picked up a new trending topic on human social media. Top 10 ways to troll alien eye. The implications were both amusing and terrifying. The Confederation's advanced testing facility hummed with activity as teams of specialists attempted to understand human digital behavior. What had started as a simple first contact assessment had evolved into the most complex xenological study in Confederation history. They're doing it again, research lead Kinra announced, her crystalline form flickering with frustration. The massive quantum display showed yet another human social media platform experiencing what they now called a viral cascade. Admiral Zextal and senior analyst Naira watched as a simple image of what humans called a keyboard cat spread across global networks at speeds that defied their most advanced viral propagation models. How? Zextal demanded. How do they achieve this level of information dispersion with such primitive technology? Kinra's form shifted through several analytical patterns. We believe it's something they call relatable content. They share things not because they're important, but because they create emotional responses. Our AI systems can't predict it because it follows no logical pattern. The testing facility had spent months trying to understand human digital behavior. They'd created the most advanced simulation systems in Confederation history, yet they couldn't reliably predict what humans would find meme-worthy. Show them the latest test results, Naira suggested. Kinra projected a new data stream. We attempted to infiltrate their networks using our most sophisticated AI systems. We programmed them to mimic human digital behavior perfectly. The results were unexpected. The display showed their AI agents attempting to interact on human social platforms. Within hours, they had been identified, not by security systems or government agencies, but by ordinary users who claimed the AI's behavior was too formal and gave off big bot energy. They spotted our AI because it was too perfect. Zextol's command crystals pulsed with disbelief. Precisely, Kinra confirmed. Humans deliberately include errors in their digital communications. They use something called typos and autocorrect fails as forms of humor. Our AI couldn't replicate the natural imperfection of human communication. The display shifted to show another failed infiltration attempt. This time, their AI had tried to adapt by introducing deliberate errors, only to be immediately called out for trying too hard and being kinda sus. It gets worse, Naira added. Remember those hackers we were concerned about? They've turned identifying AI behavior into a game. They call it Spot the Bot and treat it as entertainment. Zextol watched as humans across various platforms casually identified and exposed sophisticated AI agents that had taken the Confederation years to develop. They didn't even seem to take it seriously. They turned it into memes. And then there's this phenomenon, Kinra continued, displaying a new data stream. They call it trolling. It's a form of deliberate digital provocation that follows no discernible rules. Our AI systems can't distinguish it from genuine communication. The Admiral's form dimmed as he processed this information. Are you saying we can't infiltrate their networks because humans are too random? Not random, Naira corrected. They're unpredictably predictable. They have patterns, but those patterns evolve faster than our systems can analyze them. They call it internet culture, and it changes constantly. Kinra projected another failed infiltration attempt. Watch what happened when our AI tried to understand something they call sarcasm. It accidentally started what they call a flame war and got ratioed. Concepts our linguistic systems are still trying to decode. The display showed thousands of humans gleefully piling onto the AI's failed attempt at human communication. They didn't seem angry or concerned. They treated it as entertainment, turning the AI's mistakes into what they called copy pasta. We did have one partial success, Kinra noted, her color shifting to a slightly more optimistic hue. We created an AI that managed to integrate into human social networks for almost a week. What happened? Zextol asked. It accidentally became what they call a meme account. It gained millions of followers before someone noticed it was posting content with suspiciously consistent timing and no spelling mistakes. Naira's sensory membranes quivered with what might have been amusement. The humans didn't expose it as an AI, though. They just started following it ironically and making memes about how obviously bot-like it was. They turned our infiltration attempt into entertainment. Zextol's command crystals pulsed with resignation. So we can't infiltrate their networks because they're too chaotic. We can't predict their behavior because they're deliberately unpredictable. And we can't even expose their methods because they'll turn it into entertainment. Correct, both analysts confirmed simultaneously. And our most sophisticated AI systems, capable of managing entire star systems, are being outmaneuvered by humans who communicate through pictures of cats and deliberately misspelled words. Also correct, Kinra added. Though you forgot to mention they're doing it with technology we considered obsolete a century ago. The Admiral's form flickered through several colors before settling on a deep, contemplative hue. We need to completely rethink our approach. These humans, they've turned digital chaos into a defensive strategy so effective they don't even realize they're doing it. As if to emphasize his point, the quantum display suddenly filled with what humans called a trending topic. Top 10 signs your social media friend might be an alien. Number 7 will surprise you. The Confederation's finest minds watched in helpless fascination as humans casually dismantled their most sophisticated infiltration strategies while making jokes about it. The worst part, they were having fun doing it. The Confederation's first contact chamber, normally a place of solemn ceremony, was in chaos. Admiral Zextal's crystalline form pulsed with barely contained frustration as he reviewed the latest reports from Earth. "Let me understand this correctly," he addressed the assembled emergency council. "We finally attempted direct contact, and the humans thought it was a marketing campaign." Senior analyst Myra's color shifted to what her colleagues now recognized as her humans are being humans again who. "Not exactly, sir. They thought it was viral marketing for something called a streaming series. Several entertainment companies are actually threatening to sue each other over who has the rights to our first contact signal." The quantum display showed hundreds of human social media reactions to their carefully crafted greeting message. Most seemed to be critiquing the production value and special effects. "We transmitted it simultaneously to every digital device on the planet," Zextal stated, his tone carrying unmistakable exasperation. How could they possibly think it was marketing? "That's apparently exactly what made them think it was marketing," research lead Kinra explained. "They have something called augmented reality advertising. Our transmission matched several common promotional patterns in their entertainment industry." The display shifted to show human discussions across various platforms. Their carefully worded diplomatic message was being analyzed not for its content, but for Easter eggs and viral marketing strategies. "It gets worse," Naira added. "Remember how we included mathematical proofs of our existence to demonstrate our technological superiority? Several human teenagers have posted videos pointing out what they call plot holes in our equations." Zextal's command crystals dimmed. "Plot holes? In mathematical proofs?" "Yes, sir. They're not questioning the math itself. They're questioning our story logic. One particularly popular video suggests that any civilization advanced enough for interstellar travel would have better special effects." The chamber's quantum field displayed a trending video titled 10 Reasons Why the Alien Message is Totally Fake, or The Aliens Need a Better Graphics Card. It had accumulated millions of views in hours. "And then there's this," Kinra continued, projecting another data stream. "Human corporations are attempting to capitalize on our message. Several companies have already filed trademark claims on phrases from our transmission." The Admiral watched in disbelief as human businesses began incorporating elements of their first contact protocol into advertising campaigns. Their sacred greeting, refined over centuries of diplomatic theory, was being used to sell something called energy drinks. "But surely their governments," he began, "are currently engaged in what humans call a Twitter war over who has jurisdiction over first contact protocols." Naira interrupted. "Several nations have accused others of orchestrating an elaborate hoax, while some corporate entities are claiming our message violates their intellectual property rights." Kinra's form flickered with what might have been amusement. "One human entertainment company is threatening legal action because our ship designs allegedly infringe on something called copyright. How do they function like this?" Zextal demanded. "How has a species that turns everything, even potential first contact, into entertainment and legal disputes managed to advance this far?" "That's not even the most concerning development," Naira added. "Show him the cloud computing situation." Kinra projected a new data stream that made the Admiral's crystalline form pulse with alarm. Humans worldwide had begun pooling their computational resources, creating the distributed network to analyze their transmission. "They're using something called crowdsourcing," she explained. "Millions of humans are donating their computing power to process our message. They're calling it the Alien Signal Analysis Project, though most participants seem more interested in proving it's fake than making contact." The display showed countless humans collaborating across platforms, sharing theories, and analyzing data. They weren't following any organized protocol. They were approaching it like what they called a community puzzle game. "The most ambitious analysis is being led by someone called XX_AlienHunter 420_X, Naira reported, her color shifting to indicate uncertainty about human naming conventions. "They've organized thousands of participants using something called Discord and Reddit." Zextal watched as humans casually dismantled the encryption in their message, not through superior technology, but through what they called brute force and vibes. They weren't even taking it seriously. They were treating it like a collaborative game. And now, Kinra added, displaying one final data stream. They're using something called machine learning to analyze our transmission patterns. Their methods are incredibly primitive, but they're compensating with sheer numbers and enthusiasm. The Admiral's form dimmed as he processed this information. So our first contact attempt has been mistaken for marketing. Our mathematical proofs are being critiqued for plot holes. Our sacred greeting is being used to sell beverages, and our encrypted messages are being decoded by humans who think they're playing a game. Correct, both analysts confirmed. Though you forgot to mention that several human teenagers are already creating what they call remix versions of our transmission. As if to emphasize the point, the quantum display showed a new trending topic. I put the alien message through auto-tune, and it's actually fire. The Confederation's first contact protocols, refined over millennia, had been rendered completely ineffective by a species that had turned the most significant moment in their history into a combination of entertainment, legal disputes, and collaborative problem-solving. The worst part, they were getting results. The Confederation's strategic... They're inviting us to something called a hackathon, Naira explained, her color shifting through various shades of bewilderment. After decoding our transmission, they've organized a global event to help us improve our communication systems. The quantum display showed millions of humans collaborating across their primitive networks. Instead of panic or hostility, they'd responded to the proof of alien life by organizing what they called a collaborative tech conference. Explain, the elder commanded. Research lead Kinra projected the event details. They identified what they call inefficiencies in our communication protocols. Instead of being intimidated by our technology, they're treating it like what they call a legacy system that needs updating. The display showed human developers worldwide working on what they termed patches for the Confederation's quantum communication network. They weren't trying to hack it or disable it. They were trying to optimize it. This one's particularly interesting, Naira noted, highlighting a project led by a group calling themselves the Quantum Mean Team. They've found a way to compress our data streams using something they call lossy compression with vibes. It's completely unorthodox, but it works. Admiral Zextal watched as humans casually rewrote communication protocols that had taken the Confederation centuries to develop. They weren't following any established theoretical frameworks. They were just, as they put it, trying stuff to see what sticks. And this, Kinra added, displaying another project, is from a 16-year-old human who goes by Cosmic Potato Girl. She's developed an interface that allows our quantum systems to interact with something called TikTok. We're still trying to understand why, but it's surprisingly effective. The Elder's ancient form pulsed with what might have been amusement. Are you saying these humans are helping us improve our technology, while simultaneously turning it into entertainment? Exactly, Naira confirmed. They've turned First Contact into what they call an open-source project. They're not just trying to communicate with us. They're trying to optimize the entire process of interspecies communication. The display showed countless human collaboration platforms buzzing with activity. Software developers shared code, artists created interfaces, and what they called UX designers worked on making quantum communications more user-friendly. But the most remarkable thing, Kinra continued, is this. She projected a new data stream showing something humans called Stack Overflow. They're not just solving problems. They're documenting everything, creating what they call best practices for future alien encounters. Zextal's command crystals pulsed with realization. They're creating a framework for universal communication protocols through trial and error. And memes, Naira added. Don't forget the memes. They've somehow turned quantum physics into something they call relatable content. The Elder's form shifted through several contemplative hues before speaking. In all our millennia of First Contact protocols, we never considered this possibility. a species that would respond to advanced technology, not with fear or reverence, but with technical support. The quantum display showed another trending topic: 5 quick fixes for common quantum communication issues. Number 3 will blow your mind. We should probably tell them that their suggested improvements actually work. Kindra noted, several of their quick fixes have increased our quantum network efficiency by 47%. The Admiral's form flickered with what was definitely amusement now. So instead of us uplifting them technologically, they're helping us debug our systems. Yes, both analysts confirmed, though they keep insisting we need something called dark mode for our quantum interfaces. The Elder's ancient form brightened with decision. Prepare a formal response. It seems we need to update more than just our first contact protocols. These humans, they've shown us a completely new way of approaching technological evolution. Already done, Naira reported. Though you should know, they've started a heated debate about whether our official communication should use something called emoji. As the Confederation leadership watched, humans continued to casually revolutionize interstellar communication while making jokes about it. They turned the most significant moment in their species' history into a combination of technical workshop, social media event, and global collaboration project. And somehow, it was working better than any official protocol ever could. The final trending topic said it all. Aliens need better UI/UX. A thread, 147th. Somewhere in the vast quantum networks of the Confederation, a notification appeared. Humans have submitted a pull request to your communication protocols. Would you like to review the changes? The future of interstellar diplomacy was about to get a lot more interesting, and probably include a lot more memes.